All right. How are you? You ready to win? We have some spirited conversations going on here. All right, 20 seconds more. 5:50 a.m. Thank you, Arohan, sorry. 5:50 a.m., 5 a.m., 4 a.m. The dedication, you guys. Thank you so much. All right, and with that, so namaste, everyone, and welcome. On behalf of the Nepali Leaders Network, it is my absolute honor to officially invite you all to the Nepal-US Hackathon 2026. Can I get a round of virtual claps, please? Thank you so much. So I am Prapti Sankar, and I have the honor of hosting this experience with you. And before we kick off, right, let's just take a moment to look at this space and the number of people that have showed up here. Because what you're part of right now, this is something much bigger than just a hackathon. The Nepal US Hackathon, brought to you by Nepali Leaders Network, initially started with 1350 plus applicants from 12 plus countries. And today we're here with 420 selected participants. That is you. So, congratulations to everyone who made it so far. And that honestly speaks volumes about the level of talent and commitment we have in this room today. So, thank you so much for joining in, everybody. And we're also really proud to share that this initiative is promoted by the Consulate General of Nepal in New York. And of course, none of this would be possible without the support of our sponsors. A big thank you to Junkeri Project, our first place sponsor, Shrestha CPA, our second place sponsor, and Kit Suppliers, our third place sponsors. And last but not least, thank you to all our community partners. Thank you so much for sharing the word and helping make this event even bigger and bigger. So that being said, we've already had a round of icebreaker, right, about where you're from and how excited we are to build this today. Now, here's what we have lined up for today, right? So we'll start with some opening remarks, and then we hear from speakers who have done some really amazing work and have a lot to share with all of us. And then we move on to a detailed walkthrough of the hackathon process, including the rules, criteria, and guess what? The official problem statement for the Nepal US Hackathon 2026. Now, to officially set the tone for this event, it is my honor to invite someone who has been instrumental in bringing this vision to life. He didn't just imagine this, but actually made it happen. The ever smiling, the ever friendliest, the person who knows everyone in this world, the founder and CEO of Nepali Leaders Network, Mr. Shreyas K. Shrestha. Over to you, Shreyas. A round of clap for him, please, guys.
Prapti, thank you for opening the hackathon and, as always, for the cheesy intro. So, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Shreyas, the founder of Nepali Leaders Network, and I want to officially welcome all of you guys to the Nepal US Hackathon 2026. So, woo! I don't know if you guys, I don't see a lot of people, but I hope there's some virtual claps going on. And if you guys are excited, drop in the chat. I'm excited. More exclamation marks, the better. So, I'm going to wait for a little bit. I want to see if you guys are excited. I want to see. I'm excited. Excited. Okay, one. Diva said, I'm excited. Let's go. Let's go. Oh my God, guys, my internet's gonna crash this way. All right, jokes aside, when I started Nepali Leaders Network, the goal was simple. We wanted to connect ambitious Nepalis around the world while creating meaningful opportunities. Not just talk, not just network, but actually do things together. And this hackathon is one of the ways we're trying to make that happen. Because let's be honest, right? There's thousands of hackathons that's happening all around the world. MIT does them, big companies do them, but almost none that's built specifically for Nepali students and professionals around the world. And that's why we decided to create one. And what's kind of crazy is how much this has grown because 6 months ago we had around 150 people involved, and this time it's close to 500. And on top of that, we're building around mental health, a topic that's not really talked about in our community, but it's something that we have to address. Point is, this isn't just building for the sake of building, but it's building around something meaningful. And if you guys agree, and I feel like someone in the background loves agreeing, hey, but jokes aside, if you guys agree, please yes button chat because would love to know if it's just not us, the organizing team. If you guys think mental health is important, okay, wow, that's fast, that's fast. Yes, 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 yes. Awesome. So now, of course, none of this, like Prapti mentioned, would have been possible without everyone involved. Our keynotes, the judges, mentors, workshop leads, partners, sponsors, all of you guys, the participants, and especially the team working behind the scenes to make this vision into reality. So really appreciate everyone who's in the room. So again, I only see 6 people on my right, but hopefully there's some virtual claps going on, right? That said, from here, this weekend really is on you because we've done our part as the organizing team in setting this up, but the value you get really depends on how much you actually lean in. Because you could possibly walk away with a real project you can show, B, people you could end up building with long term, mentors who could accelerate your path, and obviously there is the prize money online, so there is real upside, but at the same time, it could just be another normal weekend. And that part's really on you. So, yeah, don't overthink it. Lean in, talk to your teammates, use your mentors. Anything that breaks down, please let us know, the organizing team. And we're super excited to see what y'all build. Now, before I pass this to Prapti so we can move forward with the event, I want to see one last time if you guys are still
Actually, sir,
excited.
this is
So, in the chat,
KP recommended.
Uh, I'm guessing that's someone who's more excited. But if you guys are still excited, I want to see still excited in the chat because I want to know. Okay, woo. No one's excited. I want to see still excited, still excited, 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 excited. Awesome. Prapti, I want to pass it back to you. Let's get this started.
Thank you so much, Shreyas, and thank you so much for setting the tone. I think that was incredible. And I'm famous for my cheesy one-liners, so bear with me, guys. Thank you so much. So now we are moving to the part that I'm personally really excited about. Over the next few minutes, you're going to hear experiences, insights, and perspectives that can actually genuinely shape how you approach this hackathon. To begin our keynote segment, let us all welcome someone who represents Nepal on a global stage, the Consul General of Nepal in New York, Mr. Dadiram Bhandari. It's an honor to have you with us, sir. Over to you.
Thank you, Prati. So echo is coming, right?
Yes, a little bit, sir, I think. So while Dadiram, sir, fixes and works on the echo, I'm going to go back to the chat. And come on, guys. Can we all drop fire emojis, actually? Because Shreyasa said we are also very excited. At the same time, okay? When I count to three, let us all draw, react fire at the same time, okay? One, two, three. Come on, guys. At the same time. Yes. That's fast. That's amazing. Thank you so much. Sovin Shrestha, thank you, Sovin Dai. All right, so I'm going to read some more chats. Do you guys have, okay, what are you most excited about this weekend? Is it the building? Is it the meeting the people? Seeing the organizing team? Oh, someone said money. Oh my God, yes, definitely. We have the cash prize. Um, so yeah, engaging with the chat is obviously very fun. So I'm gonna give Badiram sir some time to work with his technical glitches. In the meantime, we're gonna move on to our next keynote speaker. So moving on, we have someone who's been working at the intersect, constantly working for building AI and empowering individuals and supporting events like these. Let's hear from someone leading and actively building in the tech space, the CEO of GPino and advisor to Nepali Leaders Network, Mr. Sanjay Manander. Thank you so much for everything you do, Sanjay Dai, and however you are. And you look 30 years younger still today. I understand to that. And passing over to you. Thank you so much.
Prapti, thank you very much. Thank you, Shreyash. I hope you guys can hear me without echo.
Yes, perfectly.
Okay, good. again, this is always a pleasure to be part of this group. Shreyash and I have been interacting long before this group was even called Nepali Leaders Network. But I'll tell you, he had an amazing vision, and this is one that was absolutely needed, right? And a lot of other groups do this kind of interest-based activities, but Nepalese never did something like this. And as you all know, last fall was the first hackathon, and now we're doing the second one. And the numbers have grown. We all know what the numbers say. People are getting a word of how amazing this is. But last year, I had the opportunity to, and with my wife, not only provide the prizes of first, second, third through our organization's Junkiri project, but I was also the judge, one of the, I believe, six judges. And I was just completely floored by the quality of the projects. And as you know, the hackathons, typically have a format where it is over 24 or 48 hours, and the participants are working throughout the night. And, this is very exhilarating, especially if you're creating a team impromptu. So I was quite amazed by the quality of the projects. And this year, the theme is even more interesting because, as Shreya said earlier, mental health is a global problem, and yet it is a bit of a taboo. And so, what I would say is please, if you're a participant, go into this with absolute gusto, energy, because you'll be not only developing the community, but you'll be developing yourself and for a good cause as well. And judges, mentors, I know you're already putting in a lot of effort. And I'll also thank you for the organizing committee and sponsors. But a little bit about how I got here. I think I'm a little bit older than most of you, maybe all of you. I came to the US in early 80s and got a full scholarship to go to United World College in New Mexico. And my thinking was always, why not? Just go for the stars if you can, right? So, people would tell me, are you crazy? Who's going to give you full scholarship, number one? And who's going to give you admissions? And oh, by the way, you're just out of 10th grade. In those days, there was no plus two and all that. You're done with high school at 10th grade, right? I went to St. Xavier's and I just started writing, typewriting, by the way. Again, I'm sure some of you don't even know what a typewriter is, but we had a typewriter and a bunch of stamps, and I wrote to about eight schools, and one of them was United World College. And when it actually happened, they actually gave me the scholarship. It was hard for me to believe, but also for my parents to believe, and also my friends. But also, what it says is, if you don't try, your probability of success is zero. I knew the probability of success was low, but it was non-zero. And from there, they said your math, chemistry, physics scores are really good. You should apply to MIT. And I said, what's MIT? And my guidance counselor said, just apply. And I said, I'm a poor kid from Nepal. We don't have a lot of money. They have to give me full scholarship. And the guidance counselor said, MIT is needs blind. Just apply, see if you get in. I got in, full scholarship, electrical engineering, computer science. It's a very demanding program, but one that, like the hackathon today, will actually build you. It'll grow you. And so I ended up also doing a master's program there at the MIT Media Lab, speech recognition, synthesis, and all that. And again, the arc in my life, in my career, is I don't mind being embarrassed. I don't mind being told, you're stupid, your chance of success is low or zero. I don't care, right? That's just the attitude I've had since I was little. And so when, my employer, Siemens, said, all you 65 engineers, we don't need to see you here tomorrow. We've changed your passwords already. I saw the look on my colleagues' faces, moms, some moms, a lot of dads with mortgages and kids. And I thought, oh, when I'm their age, I don't think I want to be in that position. So I was 26. And then I thought, this is a great time to bring internet to Nepal. But Nepal, like AT&T here in the US, had a monopoly called Nepal Telecom. I believe it's still the monopoly. And I thought there's a different way to do things. And again, my background in data networks and speech recognition and synthesis and all that, that allowed me to do basically what later became called voice over IP. You can connect a mic of one audio card to a speaker of another similar audio card across the country, across the world, and vice versa. And then suddenly you can make a call for $0. You paid AT&T nothing, whereas 30 cents a minute was quite standard, and $3 a minute to call Nepal was very, very standard. So I never called home. So I said, this dynamics has to change. Why can't we make free phone calls using voice over IP type of technology? So, of course, to bypass Nepal Telecom, there was only one other way, which was using the satellites. LEO, low Earth orbiting satellite by HealthNet was available. I did the research and found out that this was a nonprofit, and I asked them again. This also needed a little bit of courage and also naivete, right? Ignorance is bliss. So I told them, hey, listen, I'm an engineer. Will you give me time on your satellite? And they said, sure. 90 kilobytes every 90 minutes. Very, very low payload, very small payload, but that was enough to get started with HealthNet Nepal in August 1994. So, and so on it goes, right? And the last few years, what I've been doing is looking for white space, and I start companies. I seed fund it. Sometimes I'm bootstrapping from the start to exit, and sometimes I'm getting high net worths, funding, sometimes VCs and so forth. But what I like is always be looking for white space, always be saying, why not? And this is why this, more than any other event, is so exciting for me. This is one where I see a lot of young people
అవును
saying, why not?
ఆ,
So, anyway, I think I've been speaking for a long time. I hope you all realize what you're doing is quite seminal. It's quite important. It's quite uh, history making. We'll look back, 10 years out, we'll look back to today and say, remember we did that hackathon? You'll make good friendships. You'll build companies. You'll make new ventures. You'll have unicorns among yourselves. And don't ever let anyone say, oh, because you're Nepali, you will not succeed. Because you're Nepali, you won't go there. You always belong in the room. You always can have the ambition you deserve. So this is my challenge to you. Please make sure you enjoy this time, and I really hope you all have a good time. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Sanjay. Always a pleasure listening to you. And of course, we're all very proud to come from Nepal and get the Nepali people in the tech map, right? Amazing. So I think Dadiram sir has fixed his technical glitch already. So once again, let us all welcome the Consulate General of Nepal in New York, Mr. Dadiram. Thank you.
I hope this technical glitches is not there.
Oh, yes, sir. You sound perfect. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Prapti. Thank you, Shreyas. And on top of that, I'm truly, sentimental to listen Sanjay sir. A few days back, I had a very interesting telephone conversation with him. Now it is truly encouraging to me, and I believe to all the participants of this evening event to listen to him. This is what exactly I believe this type of event convey to our very rapidly growing Nepali diaspora. Thank you, Sanjay sir. It's always, honor for me as a consul general to listen our leader in this part of the world to listen your achievement. With this, distinguished speaker Sanjay sir, my friend Dr. Parvat, Pukarji and Navinji, amazing mentor and judges of this hackathon, fantastic team member from Nepali Leaders Network, most importantly, the partner and supporter of the events and those Nepali Student Association who have joined their hand to make this event possible, and most importantly, our talented participant. Namaste to you all who are joining. I believe this event is Shreyasji shared from 10, 12 different 12 countries of the different part of the world. I'm really happy to be with you today, especially as Sanjay Jai shared with young generation with creative mind in one place. As a Consul General of Nepal, it's a great honor to welcome you all to the 2026 edition of Nepal-US Hackathon. And I'm glad to share that this year we became the proud supporter of this event. The reason is we strongly believe in the power of youth and innovation, and most importantly, the power of our diaspora. When I look at all of you, I don't just see the coder or designer, I see you as a problem solvers, creators, and most importantly, the future leader of Nepal. Today, as organizer has shared, we see this event very interesting to our youth. Over almost 1400 participants. I mean, wanted to be participant, but due to some, reason, almost 500 are participating from 12 countries. That is incredible. We may sometimes call ourselves a small country geographically, but we are not. Our ideas are great. Our talent are truly global. Wherever Nepali goes, they carry creativity, hard work, and strong connection to whom what Sanjay Dai has just shared, and I believe other three great speakers of tonight they will be sharing their equally encouraging story amongst our participant of this hackathon. Let me share three simple ideas today with you. First, what we believe Nepal is on the cusp of harnessing the power of youth and technology. Nepal is a young country, as you all of you know. The median age is 26. That means you are our biggest strength. In the past, diplomacy used to happen in the meeting room, but today it also happens through technology, through apps, idea, and innovation. That is where you come in. You have power to bring Nepal new idea, turn challenge into opportunity, use your skill to make real change. No matter whether you are in New York or Nepalganj, Kathmandu or California, you are part of one global Nepali community, and Nepali diplomacy is seeking to play a pivotal role in that journey you take. Second, um, build something with purpose. This year, hackathon's theme, mental health, is Sanjay Dai and Shreyas has outlined, is very important, especially in the context of this rapidly growing Nepali diaspora. In this fast-paced world, many people struggle silently. Technology is often blamed for creating distance, but I think through this type of event, we have a chance, we have the opportunity to use it to bring people closer. Over the next 2 days, I encourage you to build solution that helps people feel heard and supported. Use technology and most importantly, this artificial intelligence to make help more accessible, to create platform that reduce stigma around mental health. Don't just build something smart, but build something meaningful for our family and friend. Third, your journey starts here. Uh, is Sanjay Daya has shared. Why not? When you start making this mindset, you can make all change possible. And this hackathon can be a good starting point. It is not only about winning the prize or trophy, but it is about learning something new, making like-minded people, turning idea into real impact, and most importantly, I mean, to be encouraged by listening the struggle, achievement, and impact our senior made in different domain of their career. The connection you make here could last lifetime. The idea you create here could help someone somewhere in ways you can't imagine it. From the consulate side, we are here to support you. We want you to see your idea grow, not just here, but also in Nepal. Before I finish, I want to say to all of you, be bold, be creative, and take risks. Sometimes the best idea comes from trying something that might not work. And remember, the real success of this hackathon is not a trophy, it's experience, it's teamwork, and the impact you create. And most importantly, especially the people of Nepali diaspora, the value of network, value of connection, and value of appreciation. To the mentor and judges of this hackathon, I really thank you for guiding and inspiring our young innovators, our talented student. And to all the participants, this is your moment. Let's innovate, let's collaborate, let's make network and the connection, and let's build together the better future for Nepal. Thank you. And I remain, in your contact to organize the events like this with Nepali Leaders Network. We have been planning something more, something big in the days to come, and I hope you will find time to be part of this upcoming initiative. With this, once again, I thank you all the seniors who make who finds their time to be with our young student and early career professional in the during this 2026 hackathon and the tireless work Nepali leaders team, networks team made to make this possible. And I look forward to continue our partnership with this network. Thank you. Good evening.
Thank you so much, and good evening, Daridam sir. And like you said, we are really, really thankful for your support and the recognition you've been giving to Nepali Leaders Network. And of course, we're all excited for what's to come next. With that being said, next up, we have someone working at the intersection of innovation and AI, the co-founder of Neural AI, Mr. Navin Baskota. Over to you, Navin Bhai. Thank you.
Thank you, Prapti, and thank you. Good to see you, Daviramji here as well as Sanjayji. It's my pleasure to be on this panel tonight and talk to you about my background and what we have built at Neural in my career. But let me give it up to the organizers team. It's been a fantastic and there's a lot of energy. There are a lot of people that showed up, and it's great to see that. I don't always see that sort of momentum, that sort of enthusiasm, but it's really, really great to see that on a Friday night, right? So before we talked about what you guys are building this weekend, just by showing up tonight, across 50 states, I don't know, multiple countries, to build something that does not even exist yet, right? So don't take that lightly. That's not small, and you chose to build, and that makes a lot of these things, by showing up on Friday night and building, that's more than you're already one step ahead of a lot of people. So keep that in mind when you're building this weekend, okay? So let me start by telling you something that nobody tells you, when you leave a stable career and start building something, right? So when I was a CFO at Citi, Wall Street, 14 years, I had every resources available to me. I walked away from all of it, and not because I had a perfect plan to I had a perfect plan. I walked away because I had a problem that I could not stop thinking about it, right? So that discomfort that warning sign, that's the sign to build something. So you should be feeling something like that for tomorrow or for Sunday to build, for something to build, that you should be passionate. You should have a problem that you should be solving, and you should be building around that. People talk about, look, Nepalese in tech. Oh, we're an emerging country. We have all of these. We're not known. I would argue we're already here. Like, you look at, and we've been here because you just heard Sanjay, talk about his experience in the US for the last, I don't know, 20, 30 years. And he's been very successful. And there are countless examples like that, right? So don't sell yourself short. Just because you're Nepali in the US doesn't mean you are less than anybody else. Keep that confidence up, and that'll serve you really, really well. Um, and also, if you look at the in the global space, right? We're already there. You look at Nepali engineers building in Meta, Microsoft, Google. Nepali founders are raising from top VCs in the US. Not just Neural, there are countless other examples that you see every single day. They're raising millions and millions of dollars. So there's, it's not because the people are recognizing, and they're not putting money because you're Nepali. They're putting money, but they're giving you capital because you have a product, you have a solution that you built that's going to serve the world, that's going to solve a problem, right? So once again, think about that as you're building throughout this weekend as well. And look, at Neural, we took a very hard. We started to solve a very hard problem, and we have incumbents that's been around for hundreds of years, and they're worth hundreds of billions, if not trillions of dollars. They're worth trillions of dollars. Our newer competitors have also raised billions of dollars, but we still saw a problem. We still wanted to build something here. We still wanted to solve that problem. And what I will tell you is, you don't need permission to build something. Don't be scared of your competitor. Don't be scared to get your hands dirty. You just have to try it, and you'll do it. And that, I'm 100% believer of that. So even before Neural, we also built Harvest, another fintech company in the US. That's Nepali company founded. It was acquired by one of the largest fintech brands in the US. That nobody gave us a permission to do that, right? We just went in, we just built it. In fact, we went to solve a different problem, and we found out there are other problem that's bigger than what we were initially looking to solve. We pivoted, and we became successful. That's the other lesson I'll tell you over the weekend. If you are solving a problem, you're stuck at it, and somebody comes to you like, hey, the data suggests there's another problem that we may be able to solve. Be always look out for other problems. Like, you should always be thinking about, other problems to solve while you are looking at, what you're looking to build something. Don't just, discourage that idea. Yes, there are always things that may go really, really well, and you want to continue to do that. But most often, the things actually don't go well in startup, and you will see countless example of very, very successful companies that have pivoted and become $1 billion and $1 trillion companies. So keep that in mind as well, right? As your co-founder or your team or somebody else comes to you and basically say, hey, maybe we should try this. Don't shut it down immediately. That's my other advice to you guys as well. Here's the thing about, this is just the Nepali diaspora, Nepali community that you're building around. Here's the thing about our community. And a lot of the folks don't frame this properly, right? So let me say this in a way that hopefully you'll understand. We come from two different cultures, okay? And that means there are two set of different pain points that we are familiar with, right? Two sets of markets, two ways people suffer from broken systems. That is not a liability. That's actually our competitive advantage. So we can use those competitive advantage to build solutions that can solve a problem. And that is something that you should definitely be proud of. When we are solving problems for Neural, we operate in 150 countries. So by having that multicultural, multi-jurisdiction, multi-country sort of a viewpoint of a culture and other things, that's actually a real advantage that some of my folks in the US may not have or do not have. So use that to your advantage, if you are building a global solution as well. And So let me tell you exactly, some of the pain points as you guys go through it, right? So I've been part of a couple of startup here in the US, and there are some lessons from my journey that I'd like to share with you as well. So when I left at City I had everything, right? I have the whole system, the access to legal team, access to global network. But the moment you guys will start building something, and if you had a permanent job before, be prepared that you will not have anything. Yes, you will have folks, you have other mentors, you have other friends, but you may not have that access that you used to have at Meta or Google, whatever you are coming from, right? But if you believe in the problem that you are solving, you will do really, really well. So that's why solving a problem is very important, and your mission and passion about that particular problem is always going to drive you towards solving that problem. So keep that in mind, right? And that's why it's very important for you to basically stop before you start build something. Make sure that you understand the problem, that there is a problem, and that you're working towards solving that problem, right? Because sometimes I call it a idea fallacy. Ideas are cheap, execution is very difficult. So don't be afraid to share your ideas with somebody else, right? Let them tear apart your ideas. Don't be afraid to go to ask other folks about, does that really work or not, right? I would say vet your ideas to the extent that you feel confident that you can, that's actually a solution that can solve that problem. So a lot of folks, I've met, they come to me and they hesitate to share this idea. That's the wrong way about going things. You want to share your ideas as much as possible, vet your idea as much as possible before you start building it, because the building journey is very difficult. It's very hard thing to do. Not that I want to discourage you guys for saying it's very hard, but if you take it very seriously, it is hard, and you have to be prepared yourself mentally and physically to go through that journey as well, right? Um, I want to share something that the thing that failed completely failed, right? When we started building Neural, we thought technology was the problem, but it was not. But the hardest part of convincing people to use Neural to pay their employee salary across multiple countries, that is a trust problem. It's not a technical problem, right? So whatever you are building, understand what is the problem you're solving. That is a technical problem to actually build the product. The second aspect of that is the distributions, getting clients. How do you go about doing that? Keep that in mind as well, because that is going to happen. You're going to get into this place where, similar to what we happened to us, the human problem is much bigger than a technical problem, right? And sometimes folks are not ready for that. We definitely were not ready for that, 3 years ago. We're ready for it now, but we were not ready for that 3 years ago. So think holistically, ask questions, go to mentors. And if you are good at if you're very good at technical side of things, try to get a co-founder or somebody else who's really good in the business side of things, because you're going to need it. There are, the moment that I doubted the idea most, because there's going to be times where you're going to say, you're going to ask yourself, am I doing this? Should I continue to do this? And should I pivot? These things will happen all the time. It will happen within the next few days while you are building during the hackathon. It'll happen if you're building for long term. And these are natural things, right? I'll give you an example. When there's one customer, we spent 3 months with them, right? Ideating with us, going through at Lens, solving their problem. They decided to stay with their existing provider, legacy provider, awful product. You know why? Because they have the name recognition. Nobody gets fired for hiding ADP. Literally, that's what the customer told me. So that's another thing that you have to think about if you're selling to B2B, or if you're selling to some other folks who basically have to make decision to trust the product that you are building. There are aspects of that you want to make sure that you are thinking through from very early on. Okay. So for the next 48 hours, here's how I suggest you use them. Pick the user, not the idea, right? Once again, user meaning problem. And you should be able to say, we built this product with this exact problem in mind, right? If you can't solve for that line, if you can't say that line out for whatever you are building the wrong thing. So try to think about that as you guys are going through that process. Sip ugly and learn fast. Your MVP should matter. Your MVP should embarrass you, right? And the demo on Sunday matters, not the code base behind it. So make sure you ship fast and learn fast. And then the last thing that I wanted to say is your network in this room is very valuable. Every person that we're building over the next 2 days, every mentors, every judges, they could be our future customers, future investors. They could be our future funders. They could be our future co-founders. Make sure you network them. Network is very, very important, especially for a immigrant community like ours, because that's one of the things that we neglected. And that is one of the most important things as you go towards building and getting customers and growing your company. So with that, thank you so much for this opportunity and good luck to you all.
Thank you so much, Navindai. And like you said, network, network, and network some more. That is exactly the kind of thing this hackathon is all about. And next, let's welcome someone building impactful solutions in the security and AI space, the CEO of Security Pal AI, Mr. Pukar C. Hamal. Over to you, Pukar Dai. Thank you so much.
Hey everybody, hey Prapti, Shreyas, congrats to you guys on building such an incredible platform and event for young Nepali entrepreneurs and also older folks like me to get involved. That's always nice. And then congrats to all the participants. Obviously, I know folks have been working really hard on this and just very humbled and honored to be alongside incredible speakers here. Honorable Consulate General Mr. Dadiramji and Sanjay ji, and of course Navin, good friend of mine, Dr. Kaur, and yeah, very feel very honored to be here. For folks that don't know me, my name is Pukar Hamal. I'm the founder and CEO of Security Pal AI, based out of San Francisco. And my background is, I was born in Kathmandu, but grew up in Darchula, Nepal, far western Nepal. So fun fact about me is Nepali is actually like my second language. And then I moved to the US when I was 7. Grew up in New York City, Queens, Forest Hills, and then lived there for 10 years. And then, won a lottery ticket to Stanford, came out here in 2009 and been in the Bay Area ever since. And during the pandemic, I had the crazy idea of starting a company because I genuinely thought we were only going to be alive for 2 more weeks. So I was like, if this is the time to do it, why not? And so I decided to build a Security Pal AI. Effectively, we were helping early companies like Airtable, Figma, in the early days, helping them with a very critical problem in their go-to-market, which was security reviews, security questionnaires. It's pretty technical, like B2B problem. So I don't want to bore you with that. But what's cool is we get to work with some pretty incredible customers, customers like OpenAI, customers like Snapchat, customers like a large health insurer that you guys probably use, a large credit card company. And what's really cool is we get to serve these customers not just from San Francisco in our office in New York, but also a team of 200 folks in Kathmandu, Nepal, an office that was inaugurated by the U.S. ambassador to Nepal, the former one, Ambassador Dean Thompson, and it was incredible. I think we have some of the best folks in the country running that operation. And it's always funny when I tell people that, yeah, like all of the enterprise deals that OpenAI closes, we support them through this awesome office in Balatar, and people are always shocked when I share that little tidbit. But yeah, I think I got maybe like a slightly different prompt here. I wanted to share a few ideas. Let's see how much time I have. I think there's one more speaker after me, so I'll share with you a couple of ideas that I think are powerful and maybe related to like the topic du jour here. I'm also sharing my information in case you guys want to learn more. Connect with me on LinkedIn. Learn more about the work with Security Pal AI and this and what we're championing, Silicon Peaks, which is basically what we've decided to champion as this tech community that's sort of emerging in the foothills of the Himalayas, starting with Nepal, but there's obviously a lot of other incredible cities that are part of that mix. And Silicon Peaks, yeah, it's open source. Like anybody can use the term. It's completely like open source. So everyone can be a Silicon Peaks founder. And so, um, yeah, I wanted to do something a little bit different, maybe something a little bit comfortable. I wanted to challenge how we think about the very theme in this hackathon. But before I get to mental health, I wanted to start with a philosopher that I really admire. So in 1859, John Stuart Mill wrote something in his book On Liberty that I think about all the time. Actually, he says, if every person on earth held one opinion and only a single person disagreed, the majority would have no right to silence that one person. Mill's argument was not really just about free speech. Actually, it was about something deeper. It was about the danger of certainty. So I think there's a lot of people that are incredibly certain in their ideas, and that can be incredibly dangerous. He wrote that silencing a dissenting opinion robs the entire human race. In fact, the dissenter is right. You've killed a chance to. If the dissenter is right, you've like killed a chance to replace error with truth. And if the dissenter is wrong, you've lost something like almost as valuable. The sharper, like more alive understanding of the truth that only comes from, truth colliding with error, right? And so certainty is incredibly dangerous. And I think one of those examples of like certainty being really dangerous is there's a couple of them, but like, doctors used to believe like with near certainty that we used to like bloodletting, like literally draining the body of blood was a valuable way of treating people. So in fact, our first president in the US, George Washington, the doctors drained half his blood because he was sick, and they were all the doctors were certain they were helping him, but they ended up killing him. There's all these other like cases where we're like 90%, 99% certain, right? Like the geocentric theory of the solar system, which Galileo obviously like proved wrong, right? And so there's a lot of these examples like that, and these are not stupid people, by the way. They were like the best minds in their time, operating with the best available information that they were certain, right? And Mill's point is that we're no different today. If you think about it, I think we've made like great strides in society, but like there's certainly certainties we take into account today that are probably not the case if we actually continue to like turn the page and in history. And who knows, maybe some of you guys here will challenge some of those certainties with the things that you guys build. And so one of the ones that I think, I'm thinking about a lot of late, especially, is mental health, right? That's one of the sort of 99% beliefs that I think deserves a little bit of examination. Right now, I feel like the consensus view is mental health is about identifying illness, treating symptoms, seeking professional help when something is wrong. That view is everywhere. It dominates our schools, media, and even our feeds on the gram, right? But let's be a little bit clear. That view has its place. If you're in a crisis, you should seek help. Therapy is real. Medication is real. There's obviously no shame in any of that. But I think the illness framing, I sometimes have a problem with that. It's quietly becoming like the only framing. And when the entire conversation is about your mind is organized around sickness, it trains you to do one thing: scan yourself for symptoms. And so it trains you to ask, what is wrong with me, instead of a completely different and more powerful question, which is, how do I get mentally stronger? And that's, I think, something that everybody here should think about. I want to propose a little bit of a different lens, not mental health, actually, but perhaps mental fitness. Think about physical health, right? So there are doctors and hospitals for when something breaks, but the vast majority of what keeps us healthy is not medicine. It's training, diet, sleep, going to the gym. Hopefully folks here are hitting the gym. You lift weights. When you lift weights, right, people aren't like, hey, what's wrong with you? Right? It's just practice. You're building up capacity for something. And so I think mental fitness should actually work a similar way. It is about building capacity for stamina, right? The ability to just sustain yourself over months without losing clarity, without burning out, resilience, right? This is where I really think resilience is a really important concept and idea for me, especially. And actually, I always go back to Chief Justice John Roberts, graduation speech on this that he gave to like a room full of ninth graders. It's funny if you don't think about that one for too long, considering how young they are. But the speech was basically, "I wish you bad luck," and he said he hoped they would be treated unfairly so they could learn the value of justice. He hoped that they would suffer betrayal so they could learn the importance of loyalty. He hoped that they would be lonely so they could never take friends for granted. And the line that sort of stuck with me, he said, "Whether I wish these things or not, they're going to happen anyways. And whether you benefit from them or not will depend on your ability to see the message in your misfortunes." And I think that's really powerful, right? And that's about resilience at the end of the day. And I think like if you really go deeper, you know, negative thinking can actually just end up like piling up. So there's a lot of science around this, right? When you frame a challenge as a threat, your thinking really narrows. You go into survival mode. You see fewer options, fewer paths forward. When you frame the same challenge as training or something that is building you up, or your thinking actually really opens up. You literally see more solutions. You're more creative. You're more resourceful. So it's not just like positive thinking in a bumper sticker. It's actually like a self-fulfilling prophecy backed by neuroscience. So negative thinking actually frames like a downward spiral. But if you're thinking positively, like it can actually have a massive impact. And so, you know, amongst other things, I know I'm running out of time, but you know, I think ambition is also really important. This is the thing that a mental fitness can also help with focus, not just hustle, risk tolerance. I think you can mentally train yourself to be more tolerant of risk. And then, of course, network as a safety net. I think, you know, the network that you guys are all building here can be a tremendous asset for you all as you, you know, work on your projects and run into these different challenges and figure out, okay, how can I work my way out of that? So, you know, this is sort of like my advice to you in the sort of few minutes that I have, you know, and so really excited. Good luck with it, with everything. And, you know, if you have any other questions, uh, comments, or want to learn more about me and some of the work that I'm doing with our incredible, you know, company, Security Pal, of course, the initiative that I'm championing with the U.S. Embassy and incredible like leaders around the world, Silicon Peaks, always happy to chat about that. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Pukaradai, and thank you so much for bringing that fresh perspective on the table. I'm sure a lot of our participants have already started viewing ideas based on that, so really appreciate it. Thank you so much. And now turning to the theme of mental health, something that truly matters, not just in innovation, but in all of our lives, like Pukaradai mentioned before. We're honored to have someone working in neuroscience and mental health research, Dr. Prabhat S. Kumar, Senior Group Leader, Broad Institute of MIT and Harvard. Over to you, Prabhat, sir. Thank you so much.
Awesome. All right. So, can everybody hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Can you see slides?
Yes, we can, sir.
All right. Either the display view or the real view? Real view?
Yes.
No, we're seeing with the notes.
Oh, that's, yeah, okay, all right.
Yes,
This is
okay.
good, all right?
Yeah,
All
better,
right.
yeah.
So, thank you, Prapti. It's great hosting. You know, I'm honored to be with you today to discuss, to reflect on the issue that we all care profoundly. You know, that's the mental health. I want to congratulate organizers, Shreyas and team. You know, I don't know everybody, and the participant for bringing this fantastic, really timely event together. You know, and then it's for me also to hear the speaker before me, Dadiram sir, whom I really admire for bringing the Nepalese community together. And I also get to hear the inspiring story from Sanjay sir and Navin sir. It's really amazing. And then also Pukar, whenever I hear Pukar Hamal, it's just amazing the way he thinks and the way he articulates things. Really great. So, as you already heard, other speaker sort of gave you perspective from entrepreneurship, leadership, innovation, as well as the public practices. You know, I would like to bring sort of the science perspective. You know, especially from the biological perspective. It will be very hard to cover the detail sort of the biology of mental health, but I would attempt to give you a very high level perspective. You know, so let me start with a sort of quiz just to get warmed up. You know, so the quiz is, you know, what do brain chips, psychedelics, meditation, Ozempic, and then your favorite term machine learning have in common? So if you, I'll give you a couple of seconds to think about it, and if you have an answer to it, feel free to type that in the chat. You know, so all right. So really think about this. You know, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't know if anyone answered it, but all right, let me get to it. So I think these terms comes when we talk about the future of mental health. Let me elaborate. So we often hear these big questions, whenever we discuss about the mental health in its future. Really, the one question is, could brain chips like uh, uh, brain-directed technology could help treat the mental health conditions? Another question I often hear is, could psychedelics or magic mushroom, maybe, and some of you may have tried, I have not, reshape the how we think about the treatment? The another question that is, can mindfulness or meditation would meaningfully reshape our mind? Then there is also like, could mental health one day have its own Ozempic-like breakthrough drug? Probably if you are not familiar with this is a drug for the weight loss. And then last but not the least, so which you are relevant to all of you, which is, could AI or digital tool read our brain and improve audit detection and support? So my answer to these are all fantastic questions, and maybe one day, maybe some of those for some of the mental health cases. But before that, we have still many grounds to cover and many foundations to build. So, but if you think about these questions, there are two important things you can take on, which is that the first, we are entering an remarkable era of mental health innovation. Second is, what you can also take away is that we still don't know the real map, and we still don't have a solution to it, right? So we are very comfortable. I think the Fukar or someone already covered. We are very comfortable talking about physical health when we know when we have a broken bone, we know what exactly that means. And then when you have a cancer, we exactly know what that could do to you. We should be able to understand mental health the same way. The reason we have been behind accepting this idea is that we understand very little. We understand very little about the mental health, because mental health conditions are extremely complex. So for many years, or over the century or decade, people have articulated mental health as a debate between the nature and nurture. But the answer is not that simple. Actually, mental health reflects three different conditions: biology, life experience, and support system. So biology includes genes, brain circuit, and your body's response to stress. And life experience, would you already know, adversity in your life, trauma, and environment you live every day. So then support system, you are already familiar with: your family, your community care, and now most importantly, increasing technology. So the solution we provide for mental health should cover all three aspects together. On the top of that, the current treatments for mentals are very limited. They have a side effects, and long-term treatment. Long-term treatment is have been a big issue. So now this is where this is where the biology becomes extremely powerful. Extremely powerful, especially genetics. Studies over decades or centuries that show that the genetics could play a very important role. There are families with the mental illnesses, and there are the twins studies. They all show that the genes play a very important role. And then if we are able to identify those genes, then we can go after the what causes the disease mechanism. So now the question is how do we even identify those genes? How do we identify those genes? This is where the breakthrough happened over last several years. My own institute, in collaboration with the several other international consortium, have gone and sequenced DNA from populations and identified a number of risk genes for complex mental illnesses such as schizophrenia and bipolar. My own research is a part of those larger effort. Maybe one day I could share more details with you, if you are interested. Now, with that gene starting as an entry point, we can use a modern genetic tools such as genetic engineering, molecular biology, experimental system, as well as the latest AI approaches, and try to understand how those genes, how those risk genes impact the brain networks and impacting the various symptoms we see in mental symptoms. So now, if you understand the what and how those risk genes impact brain networks that controls behavior and symptoms ultimately, we would be able to better design drugs, whether that is specific drug like Ozempic or neural engineering approaches. At the beginning, I mentioned to you sort of the psychedelics. I gave you brain chips, meditation, and then also the machine learning. Idea was that not that the one of the approaches is better than others, but the idea is if you understand the biology better, we could design effective treatments, right? So having said that, the biology is every solution is not a biology or medical. So we have to embrace all different. We have to respect all the complexity, and then we can find the better solution. Now, so having with that idea, what can you build? What can you build? How could you help from this hackathon? I would say, I think what you could build over next 2 days or over, I mean, if you continue to do so, So I think you can really focus on the issue that mental illness people struggle, which is the communication, effective way of increasing communication, reducing stigma, detecting disease earlier, care engagement, support, navigation, community, all this, even before the crisis actually happens. So I think for this hackathon, my encouragement is pretty straightforward. I think that was already articulated by several previous speakers, which is that the build platform, something that understanding the complexity in mind, not just what can we build, but what problem you are really trying to solve it. So I think with that note, I would like to wish all the best to all of you, and then I'm really looking forward to what you're gonna accomplish at the end. Thank you once again.
Sorry about that. Thank you so much, Dr. Kaur. And those were some really amazing words and the whole genetics and science that you backed up with it. I'm sure our participants will also be motivated to look at the problem statement with this lens. And yeah, it was amazing hearing you talk. Thank you so much. We now move into the most important segment of today's session. This is what's going to shape how you approach the next few days, guiding you through everything you need to know from the structure of the hackathon, the judging criteria, and yes, the official problem statement. So please welcome, with a big round of applause, virtual applause, the chair of the Nepal-US Hackathon 2026, the prettiest and sweetest Miss Nasana Bajracharya. Over to you, Nasana ji. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much, Prapti. So hello everyone. My name is Nasna Bhattacharya. Usually I'm a QA engineer, but these past few months I've been acting as the chair and carrying this team, this wonderful team, aka the captain of the ship. That's who I am for this hackathon. So yeah, let's introduce the rest of the team. Susan, go ahead.
Hello everyone, I'm Susan Daryl. I'm the external communication lead for this hackathon. So my main responsibility was onboarding and recruiting the stakeholders. I'm really excited to see how this hackathon goes and see all the projects.
Hello, everybody. My name is Shrut Karmacharya. I had the amazing opportunity to work as the logistics coordinator for this hackathon. I worked on the forms and the systems that help keep everything organized. It's been a great experience working with the team, and I'm really excited to see all the amazing projects you come up with.
Hello, everyone. So, as you know, I'm the host of the hackathon, and I was also responsible for taking interviews. I was the media and MC lead, and it was an amazing experience. Over to you, Ocean Bhai.
Hi everyone, my name is Oshan Maharzan, and I managed the outreach for all the tech leaders to make sure they are here today as a mentor, and looking forward to all the creative minds coming together to solve the problem. Passing on to you, Deepesh.
So hey guys, I'm Dipesh.
I'm Savasha, and we both are in the marketing team.
So we basically look over all the marketing and NLM.
So everything you see on social media is done by us.
Okay, thank you everyone. So that was our team, our wonderful team. So I'm just going to go ahead and talk about the agenda of this walkthrough for the hackathon. So quickly, we have the hackathon overview, some key deadlines, and the schedule for this weekend. And then next, we have mentorship and support, and then the submission process, how that works. And then officially, we're going to say the problem statements. There's two of those. So please pay attention to that. And then finally, we'll end with some Q&A. Okay, so you all probably have heard, our theme is mental health. So why did we choose mental health? And why not fintech or AI for business, right? Because, most of our speakers have already said, mental health is really the foundation of everything else that we built. In our Nepali community, talking about the mind has often been very taboo, talking about disabilities, all of that. Anything like that has been very, very taboo. But today, you're using your skills, your code, your designs, and your logic to break that silence. You aren't just going to build some app or this idea this weekend. You might just build a lifeline for someone who might be really struggling in silence. So let's really make that happen today or this weekend. Okay, so quickly, hackathon by numbers. So we had over 1,350 applicants this year, which is crazy. And I'm so, glad that there were so many applicants for this hackathon this year. We reviewed almost all of them and all of them, and it was very difficult to go through everyone. But we came out with 420 final participants with 88 elite teams. And then we also have 44 industry mentors, 8 expert judges, 5 keynotes, 2 workshop leads, and then 40 plus sponsors and community partners. So thank you to everyone, who already spoke, and yeah, looking forward to the weekend. Okay, go ahead, next.
So coming down to the deadlines and key dates, so this are very important for you guys, so please pay attention. So on Saturday, March 28th, you'll be attending your mentor session. So make sure you check your emails or circles for the exact timing. And on Sunday, March 29th, your final submission are due by 10 a.m. Eastern Time, which is 7:45 Nepali time, 7:45 p.m. specifically. And finally, don't miss the closing ceremony from 3 to 4:15 p.m. Eastern Time, where we will be announcing the winners. All right.
Let's talk about one of the most useful parts of this hackathon, mentor sessions. These are one-on-one drop-ins where you get direct access to experienced professionals. So instead of guessing if your idea is good, you can just ask. You can get feedback on your idea, help with execution, or ask anything, tech, business, design, whatever you're stuck on. Mentor sessions will be happening during our drop-in hours on Saturday. You can join anytime within your assigned window. Just hop in, ask your questions, and make the most out of it. And quick reminder, all the exact timings, links, and updates will be on Circle, so check Circle for everything. If you're unsure about anything at all, Circle is your go-to. So use this. This is basically free access to people who've already done what you're trying to do. Don't miss it.
Now let's talk about mentor sessions. One of the most valuable parts of the hackathon. Each team will be assigned a dedicated mentor, along with 3 30-minute check-ins on Saturday, March 28th. These sessions are spread throughout the day, giving you opportunities to get feedback as you build. All times are in US Eastern Time. Once your team receives its assigned mentor and time slot, go to the events page, find your mentor drop-in session, and RSVP to confirm your attendance. When it's time for your session, click Join Virtual Event. This will take you to a Zoom call. Inside Zoom, open the Breakout Rooms panel, find your mentor's name, and join their room. That's where your session will take place. During this time, you'll have your mentor session in the breakout room. Once your session is complete, you can exit the breakout room and return to the main room. If you have another mentor session later, simply repeat the same process. Rejoin Zoom, find your mentor's breakout room, and join again. Please make sure to join on time, as mentors will be moving between teams on a fixed schedule.
So yeah, judging we have uh, we had divided into 5 parts. So first will be problem understanding. This where we this in this area we look at how clearly the team defines and understand the problem. Then we have innovation, where we are looking how creative and effective the proposed solution is. Then we have technical implementation, how quality prototype and technical approach that you can come up with. And then we have impact, like how much this is set for like potential real world application and feasibility. And I want to highlight last part, presentation. Even if you guys were not able to complete the whole tech side, try to address this in your demo and presentation. That was judges are clear on what you were trying to build. So we have prizes. We have 3 prizes. The first one being $1,500. Second is $1,000, and third is $500. Also, we have category awards with best innovation, best technical solution, best UX and UI, best business impact, and best presentation. So give your all, and yeah.
So I'm going to talk about what exactly you need to submit. And if one of your teammates is not here, you should probably take a screenshot and send it to them. There's a very strict deadline. That's March 29 at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. That's 7:45 p.m. Nepali time. And you will need to submit a 5-minute demo video. The first 3 minutes can be your presentation, and the last 2 minutes has to be the demo of your product. You will need to submit a slide deck, preferably in a PDF format. Also, you will need to submit a GitHub repo with a very clear README, which has set up instructions for how we'll run the project. There is a rundown of the form, like the submission form, in the next slide. So this is what the submission form is going to look like. And don't forget to name your project, the problem statement that you've chose to work on. Also, one thing that you should probably double check is make sure that the Google Drive link is public, and also make sure that your GitHub repo is public. If you have any questions like before the submission deadline, you can definitely reach out to any of the organizers and we'll be really happy to clear your confusion. And that's all.
Okay, and so now we're just going to talk about the problem statements. So as you can see on the screen, the first statement is create solutions that will reduce career pressure, burnout, and uncertainty for students and professionals. Okay, next one is create solutions that lower mental health stigma and improve early support in cultural conservative communities. So, all right, so now you're seeing these two problem statements, and you're all probably thinking, what is this? Like overdrive is happening. And that's good. That is the point. We aren't here for, the safe stuff. We aren't here for textbook answers that you can find on like page 42 of some manual. We want the idea. Why hasn't anyone done this type ideas? This is a little crazy, but it might work type of energy. So don't let these prompts right now that you see on the screen box you in. Think of them as a launch pad or not a cage, break them, flip them upside down if you need to, tear them down into pieces, if you have to, especially in our specific community, we're always often told to stay in our lane and follow the script, but not this weekend. This weekend, we're stepping outside the box. So ask yourself and your teammates, what's actually broken? What do we know from our own lives that the big tech companies clearly don't? So your final project doesn't have to be perfect by Sunday, but it needs to be original and impactful. And also, don't just build it. We want you to sell it, right? Make us feel something, tell us a story. And this space is really to take big risks and be very, very creative. And that's what we're looking for, creativity. And this weekend, your solutions don't need to end, after you submit at 10 a.m. Eastern time. They can become a foundation. Someone in Kathmandu or someone in New York or Boston, someone living in a rural village, they can start what you started and keep building. And that's what's so powerful about a hackathon. So surprise us and really start innovating.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you
Okay.
so much,
Yeah.
Chris. Yeah. You guys are amazing and big clap for the NLN team, guys. Come on. Where's my chat? Why are you so quiet? Come on, let's see more claps. Let's see more claps. And can you give compliments, please? The team needs compliments at this point because they've been working really, really hard. So drop in your compliments on chat, guys. Come on. All right, that was amazing. Thank you so much. And with that, with our problem statement out, with the criterias out, we are officially ready to kickstart the Nepal-US Hackathon. And all the best to all the participants, all the mentors, judges as well, because you guys have quite a lot to do. And good luck for the hackathon from the whole Nepali-US Network team, mentors, judges, and everyone involved. Now we're going to open the floor for Q&A. And we also have some frequently asked questions. So feel free to leave if you have to, but we would highly encourage you to stay behind and just get everything out of the way so you can click start, right? Thank you so much, guys. It was amazing talking to you. Thank you so much. All right. So for the frequently asked questions, you can just drop in on the chat or we can just start. Okay. Thank you.
One of the things I'm going to start off right off the bat, मैले chatमा चाहिँ, wait, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, perfectly.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, so one of the things I saw in the chat is the duita problem statement चाहिँ छ, do we build on both or just one? So you guys only have to choose one and then start building on that. And when you guys do submit the project at the end, the submission format चाहिँ, make sure you choose which problem statement you choose, right? So that's one. Besides that, I'll let you guys drop in the chat if you have any questions. Toy no boy, it's eh? And if you feel a little bold, turn your videos on, come off mute, ask us questions. It'll be pretty exciting.
So someone just dropped that, does it have to be one of those problem statements?
Yes, but I'll let Ditsu talk more on this.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we definitely want you to stick within those problem statements. But if you have an idea that overall is within the theme, as long as it kind of covers the problem statements, then that's totally fine. But again, we want you to think outside the box. So
Yeah, so to follow up on that, there's another question, Nationally. Is it okay if we have some overlap with the problem statements?
yes, that's totally fine. Yeah.
Awesome. Another question by Soldat. It's not presenting to the judges, but just submitting the demo and presentations.
Correct. Yeah.
All right.
Right. Let me debunk it a little bit, right? I think we missed one more questions. Someone said any updates on data sets. Data sets, completely understand where you guys are coming from, but I want you to be creative, find data sets by yourself, because that itself is a challenge that you want to solve in the hackathon. Finding data sets would be one of the skills you want to learn. Second, Mati, what was the question? The judges one, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Is it just a demo or they're
Mhm.
presenting as well?
So to recap what the submissions is going to look like, we're going to have a 5-minute presentation, 3 minutes presentation, 2-minute demo with the GitHub. So all of that we're gonna take, give it to the judges who's gonna take their time and really go through each one of them. I know last time, see, we did have live presentations for the top five. Pretty sad that we can't have it this time because there's almost 80 plus projects that we're getting. Only unless you guys don't mind spending 24 hours with us, maybe a different story that to make sure that time constraint like when we're taking into consideration, there's not going to be any live presentations.
All right. Thank you so much, Shreyasa. So I'm seeing a lot of questions, guys, and I'm going to get to everyone. So please bear with me. And I'm going to give Shreyasa and Nasnadi some time to breathe. So Sushandai, there's a question. What do you expect as prototype?
So as a prototype, we talked about it in the workshop as well. Ideally, if you could deploy it in Vercel or Streamlit or anything, that would be good. But even if you don't deploy it, it's not going to be counted as a negative. If you have a local host and you have a screen recording, if it works, like it doesn't have to be a fully functional like application that people can sign into, but if it just works, that's a good prototype.
All right. Thank you so much, Sushandai. We have another question from Rashmi. How will the mentors help us during the hackathon?
So the mentors, you can ask them any questions. You can ask them, like you can get help from them from the ideation process to coding, the tech stack, everything. The only thing that mentors cannot do for you is they cannot code the project for you, but anything else you can ask them. You can ask them to help you.
All right. Thank you so much. So I'm just saying Susanna, but anyone on the team, please feel free to hop on. We have another question. Are the cash prizes both for the two statements each, and could you share the judging criteria?
The cash prizes are only for the top three, and it's not specifically for either one. It's just top three. And the judging criteria we did review earlier, but we also will provide more announcements on the circle. So you guys can all take a look once we have all that information there. And also regarding the demo videos that we showed earlier, those will also be posted. So you all will have a chance to review those.
Yeah, thank you so much. And I just saw someone asking, will we get participant certificate? And yes, you all will. I'll just go ahead and reply to that. And then we have another question. If we have high implementation of both the problem statements, should we still just pick one that is more centered?
Sorry, say that again. I
Yeah.
blanked out. I was trying to read where it was.
Yes, yes. So the question was just to follow up again. If we have high implementation of both the problem statements, should we still pick one that is more centered? Yes, you should pick the one that most aligns with your final project.
All right, thank you so much, Nasandy. I have a question by Tanisha. Should we use real data or is synthetic data fine for the prototype?
Yeah, I think synthetic is fine, but do mention in your presentation how the data was created.
Yep, thank you so much. And we have Ayush Acharya asking, does the presentation have to be in English?
No, if you're comfortable speaking Nepali, feel free to do that. And we
Hi.
encourage it actually.
Yeah, thank you so much. Also, from Samiksha Upadhyaya, we won't be pitching and having Q&A real time, right? Is the question.
No, so for your final presentations, you'll just be submitting the video and then also the slides as well as the GitHub repo information. So we won't be doing Q&A this time. So unfortunately, we don't have time for that again because of the amount of people in this year's hackathon.
All right. Thank you, Nashnali. I'm seeing Ocean Dai is very bored and he's like, Prapti, when are you going to let me speak? So here's a question. Some hackathons have restrictions on expanding data sets through AI. Is there a restriction on that, or is it okay if it is clearly stated?
Yeah, it's okay to use AI for data sets.
All right. And we have another follow-up question on that. A bit confused on the total allocated time on demo presentation plus actual walkthrough.
I can answer it.
Yeah, go ahead, Shree.
So for the presentation has to be around 3 minutes long, and your demo has to be 2 minutes, and like 5 minutes altogether. Makes sense.
Yep. Makes sense.
So, one more thing on that. So the video that we showed earlier, and where I was sharing the Google Drive, it's basically the same format in that presentation video, right? It's a presentation for 3 minutes and then a quick demo at the end showing your final product.
Yep. Thank you so much. You're welcome, Satyam. So we have some other questions. In the meantime, I think a lot of people are still saying, can you please share the judging criteria or how to get into mentor sessions? So if you could elaborate on that, Nasani.
Yes, so the basically for mentor sessions for tomorrow, you'll have all the mentors that's assigned to your specific teams, and then you'll join the three different sessions that's assigned to that mentor and your team. And in Circle, you'll see there's an event called Mentor Drop-in Session. In that, it's a link to Zoom. You can all come into the Zoom link. And then below, there's a breakout room where you'll select your mentor's name, and then your mentor will be waiting for you. And let's say you're team A, right? So you're going to be from, for example, from 7 p.m. to 7:30. So that 30-minute session, really talk to your mentor, see what you need to get out of that session and really make use of it. And then you'll have those three sessions throughout tomorrow, and you can make use of that the session. I hope that answers your question. Yeah. And again, feel free to speak as well for some.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, let us see you guys.
Yeah.
We have another question. For the presentation, is it a one-person job or everybody has to chime in to present and explain the demo?
So for the final presentation, we encourage the entire team to chime in, but if you prefer to do AI as a voice or anything, that's totally fine. But we definitely like to hear everyone on the team participate.
And do we have to maintain a properly timed commit history?
For GitHub, I'm assuming, right?
Yep.
No, you don't.
All right, so on GitHub, we can add extra videos and visuals on our GitHub README file, right? To better explain our idea, just that submitting the demo plus presentation and form should be 5 minutes in total.
Yes, in your GitHub README file, definitely add more information. Again, in the demo, I showed a quick snippet of what my team did last year. So introduce your team and then what your idea process was and all the information that you want to add.
Okay, thank you so much. And this is a question for Sri Uday, because Susant is asking this for the second time. Can we vibe code the whole project? Seriously asking.
Um, I mean, you can use AI, but I definitely don't recommend vibe coding the whole project. Be creative, try to come up with uh a good solution. Definitely.
All right, thank you so much. Yeah, just have fun, guys. And Kesal Thapa is asking, we have to submit pre-recorded presentations, not in-person Zoom presenting. Yes, that is true. You have to submit pre. I went ahead and replied that.
Yes, and it's due at 10 a.m. Eastern Time sharp. So anything we get after will be disqualified, unfortunately, but you can submit it earlier than 10 a.m.
Perfect. Thank you. Yes, Ravi, we're making very good use of the tools that we have. Thank you so much for noticing. Sure, nice saying that.
Yeah, sorry about the emails, guys. I know it's a lot of emails, but we just have to get the message across.
All right,
Speaking
perfect.
of emails, let me come off mute. So we're gonna send one more email before 10 p.m. Eastern time covering everything we talked about. So हाम्रो mentor session कसरी join गर्ने, who you guys are gonna be paired with, which you already know, which you should know, and if you don't know, something's wrong, guys, right? So Theo, अनि the exact times when you guys will be having these sessions. So that's number one. Second, मात्र submission को लागि पनि we're gonna recover that. Anything else that you guys might need in between, we'll put that as well. So make sure you're looking out for an email before 10 p.m. And त्यसमा पनि केही बुझेन भने चाहिँ please do reach out to us because we'll try to accommodate as much as we can.
Yeah, thank you so much, Reza. And I think this email they're really looking forward to. So hopefully this one's good. Yeah, and we're just making this all about question answer, but I see Hira Shrestha, Chandan Singh, and Prem Singh Poonmagar on my feed right now with your cameras on. So first of all, thank you so much for your videos on. If you guys want to say anything or ask anything, please feel free to do so. We'd love to connect with you. Thank you.
Hi everyone, this was awesome. Yeah, I love it. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
All right, thank you so much.
Yeah, it was really nice. Looking forward. Yep.
Thank you. All right.
Okay, we're gonna go about for the next couple of minutes. Any questions, drop it now. If not, we're gonna end this session and then shoot over that email right away. Then we'll get the hackathon started, guys. I don't know if you're excited as we are, but we need some winner mentality, eh, अब? So last couple of minutes, let's see. Do we Prapti, I'll pass it to you.
Yeah, thank you. Is the 3-minute presentation plus 2-minute demo really strict, like exact 3-minute, or we can utilize the 2-minute demo for presentation as well?
Like, of course, you don't have to be super precise down to the second, but we'd appreciate it if it's like as close as possible.
Yeah, and
Definitely
please,
lower than 5, though.
yeah, please don't make it like 10 minutes, 20 minutes, because we don't have time for that. And we don't want to look through, all of that.
Yes, and to add on that, like Nasnadi said, this is really about how precisely, but how well you can bring out the point that you actually can sell the product. So think like judges, guys. Come on. Someone said ready to bank $1,500. Let's go. Everyone bank $1,500. Oh, thank you so much, Gunjan Raj Tiwari. He said to all the team members, no questions, but huge appreciations to the team and an amazing session. Thank you so much. So Anruha Nirola, I'm so sorry, I lost the question. I'm gonna ask that once again. Sorry. She's asked, do we need to integrate sponsor products and services? Hi, I'm sorry, I didn't quite catch that. Did you mean to or?
So while we wait for that, अर्को सबमिसनको बारेमा पनि I want to talk a little bit about this. Sometimes you guys might finish the project and submit it. Let's say 9 ma submit गर्यो, 10 is the deadline, but you guys want to make a couple of tweaks or submit a new link because it's not working. Feel free to do that, but it has to be before 10 a.m. Eastern time. Right? Anything after, we're gonna not accept it. And we're gonna be very strict with that.
Yeah.
Even though I don't sound strict.
He is very strict, by the way. I can
Yeah. Also, one thing, I don't know if we clearly mentioned this, but there's only one submission per team. So the team lead needs to be the one submitting it. So let's say if you do, something happens, you need to resubmit or anything, just please reach out to us too and let us know. And that only that team lead can submit.
Yeah, thank you, Nasani. So we have another question by Robbie Yadav. What should I do if my team members are ghosting? Should I exclude them and build by myself?
That's a really good question. Completely forgot to answer that, Surume. For a lot of people in this hackathon who might be new, it's very common for you to have your teammates ghost. And I want you guys to be aware about that, And when that does happen, keep building because the whole goal is to submit the project before the deadline. कोही 5 जनाबाट start होला, कोही 4 जनाबाट start होला, and you guys might even drop to 3, worst case scenario 2. Keep pushing, submit the project, and whoever submits are the ones we're gonna shoot over the certificate to. And who knows, you guys might just work on this project as 2 people that win the thing as well. So you never know. Just keep pushing. Even if they drop, don't worry about it. Ani last month, when you do submit the project, we have the thing where you put the team leader, team member names. Just put the names that actually worked on the project. Because if they didn't and if they ghosted the thing, we're not gonna be giving or handing out the certificates as well. Any questions on that? Going once, going twice, and oh. Yep.
Yeah, Sushant stressed. Okay, we saw it.
Awesome. All right, guys, that's pretty much it. Key questions over. It's like email us. We're gonna shoot over an incident form as well if anything goes wrong during the hackathon, and let's make this a good one. Let's make it memorable and let's make history. So see you guys on Friday.
Yeah, see you guys on Friday, guys. Thank you so much. Also, Ishanda, I've been looking at